Hello class and welcome to Business 460. My name is Dale Deerdorf. I'm your facilitator and instructor for the sessions. And what I wanted to do is I wanted to walk you through the CAPSIM simulation, at least the login page, and starting to get you to the point where you can go in and start doing your training. One of the big things I need you to know is it's going to seem like there's a lot of moving parts. There are. In addition to that, Hello class and welcome to Business 460. This is going to be a CAPSIM video. This is where I'm going to walk you through the bare bones functionality of CAPSIM, just to kind of show you where things are at, how to get into it, just some of the easy tutorials to try to walk you through what you need to do. Now, remember that you are functioning as a team. That team is a company. There are one of a series of companies that are all in competition against each other. So there's a gamification kind of a feel to this, and that's why the simulation is set up the way it is. So you've got a variety of companies all competing against each other. These companies were part of a monopoly that was broken up. The breakup has caused everyone to start from scratch. All of you are in teams of 3 to 4 people. So there's a tab for you out here called Access CAPSIM. That's the first thing you're going to do, is you're going to go in and you're going to set your CAPSIM account up. Now, if you click Access to CAPSIM here in the Introductions and Resources section, it's going to take you to a login page. In addition to that, you can go to the Week 1 assignment. So if you go to the Week 1 assignment for simulation and if you click there, it's the same login information. It's going to drive you to the same page. So I've gone ahead and set up my account. So all I have to do is load access to CAPSIM in a new window. That's going to pull CAPSIM up, and you're going to see that you're already loaded in a specific course, and that course is going to drive you into this type of an environment. I've actually got 2 accounts set up here. I've got one that I've kind of started working on so that I can show you what it looks like, just to give you a heads up. So let's go into our, I'll call it the dashboard area, and it'll show you the industry dashboard. You're going to see that all of you are on a team. That team is named either Andrews, Baldwin, Chester, Digby, Erie, or Ferris. So there's 3 or 4 people that are loaded in that. And you have the ability to go into a practice round. Now, I don't want you to do that. The first thing I need you to do is to start going into the training. So for me, I'm going to go into my courses. It's going to give me the ability to pick a second one. If you pull my courses up, it's going to show you senior project and this particular course. Now I've got a mini demo course that I've started so that I can pull it up and show you what the dashboard looks like. So one of the first things you need to know is that you can go into the administration page, and there's course management, participant management, different areas, course settings, things that I will do on my side. But for you, one of the big things I needed to do is go into training. So the first area I need you to go into is going to be training. Once you get into training, there's going to be a list of areas that from a progress standpoint you've started going through. So let me try that again. Find out why the hell I need to go to this one. Okay, so let's go back. Hello class and welcome to Business 460, Senior Project. I wanted to do a quick CAPSIM video for you just to get you off on the right footing, basically, for where to log in, how to get in, what kind of information you're going to see. For the initial, I'll call it first week, what I need you to do is I need you to get in, get your account created, start to interact in the CAPSIM module, and I'll show you what I mean by interact. There's a series of trainings that you have to go through, starting with beginning, going all the way to advanced, and there's pieces that you will have to complete. I'll show you a little bit of that progress. I've got my own personal account set up where I can kind of walk you through certain areas so that you'll see what you should see. It'll give you the ability to kind of get a heads up to that. Now, there's two ways to get into CAPSIM. Out in Introductions and Resources, which I've got pulled up on the dashboard here, there's an Access CAPSIM area. If you click on that, it's going to drive you into exactly the same location as the week 1 simulation. That week 1 simulation and the Access CAPSIM are going to drive you to a page which says load access to CAPSIM in a new window. You're going to go into that, and it's going to give you the ability to then fill out some beginning or basic information. You're going to see that you'll have a, once you're in, you'll see that you've got a senior project loaded for you. It's going to have an industry ID. If you click on that industry ID, it's going to take you into your specific area. Now, I've got two different areas, so I'm going to go into a different one. This would be the one that you would be going into. I'm going to go into a demo area so I can kind of show you a little bit of what I'll call the meat behind the screen, so that you'll have an ability to kind of see what different things are in what different places. So let's take a peek at, and I need to go into this particular round. This is what the dashboard is going to look like. And remember, all of you have been put onto a specific team. Now, whether that's Team Andrews, Baldwin, Chester, Digby, Erie, or Ferris, you're in a team. And that team is going to have a series of different, I'll call it, dashboard measurements. One is going to be sales, one is going to be profit, one's going to be your stock price, your contribution margin, an emergency loan in case you need to pull it. And I've been in working with the Andrews profile, so I've loaded myself in that team. And what I need you to do is I need you to understand a couple different things. One is the training that's going to be required. So I want you to go into the training. Okay? So if we go into my courses, as I said, when I get down into here, I have the ability to go into a specific account and start looking at the type of training that I have. I've got, from an administration standpoint, participant view. I log into my view. Okay, and by hitting that, by going into that particular view, it's going to drive you to this screen, and this is the screen I need you to come in and start working on. This is the screen that's going to show you your training, and I need you to go into your training and start to do your training. The easiest way to do that training is to then click on training, and you'll see at the top you got beginner, intermediate, and advanced. So if I go to beginner, I've gone ahead and completed the beginner training. I've gotten about halfway through the intermediate just to make sure I understand it, and the same thing with the advanced. So the first thing you're going to do is sign in. You've got to be able to sign in to your account. The next one is to review the dashboard. And there are videos in here that show you exactly what this looks like. It is also going to have a series of questions for you to demonstrate your competence in understanding where you're at. You're going to have a welcome to CAPSIM video. You're going to have a how to run your company video. It's going to show you that, and then you've got beginner level certification. Once you click beginning level certification, it will then allow you to go to the next level of training, and that's what we want you to do. We want you to get in and finish intermediate and advanced. I want all of that done for you prior to starting the simulations. Now, week 2 or module 2 is where you're going to start to do some practice simulations. You don't want to play with any of the simulation information right now. What you want to do is you want to get your training out of the way. Once you get into module 2, I need you to know that you will then be able to do that, I'll call it that little level of tweaking, and I'll show you what I mean by that level of tweaking, okay, just to kind of give you a heads up as to where you're going to be headed. Now, one thing you need to understand is that you're functioning in a team environment. That means that all 3 or 4 of you need to be in agreement on the decisions you make prior to making those decisions and hitting submit. Or, you know, the simulation buddy button telling you to go ahead and process that simulation. So one of the things you must do is you must have good collaboration and communication with your team members. So make sure you are, as you come into this, you're part of a team. Remember that. It isn't just you individually that's going to be making decisions. You have to, in collaboration, make these decisions. So, and then once again, you can see I've got it, the advanced training would show you exactly what you're required to do in all three of these areas. So I want you to get beginner, intermediate, and advanced. And then when you're done with that, you're going to have an opportunity to go into the simulations. Now, I'm just showing you these simulations. These are week 2 when you get to start doing some practice runs. So you've got a variety of fields that you'll have available to you. The first one is research and development. So in research and development, what you can do is you can make modifications to the existing position of the company. So remember, your company is positioned to try to basically function in a positive direction, and that's going to take a variety of different things. You're going to have to tweak and play with things to really understand it. And once you finish the advanced training, you start to get an understanding of the different, I'll call it knobs. So there's multiple knobs, and you can't just crank all the knobs wide open and say process and expect it to function in an accurate method. Here, this is talking about the 3 measurements for research and development. Remember, they're performance, size, and reliability. Remember those because those are questions that you had finished in your testing, but remember that they're going to ask you those type of questions. And what you would do is you would take and you would basically say, I want to change performance and I want it to increase. That would be a position or a strategy. I might take size and decrease it, and I might take my reliability and try to increase it so that I would have a better position in this particular area. Remember, that's research and development. The next one is going to be marketing. We can make changes to the marketing that we want to do. And remember, once you're done with making decisions, there's a way to save that decision. You go to File, you tell it to save that decision. That's a decision that you're making. Same thing with production. You have the ability to change the capacity and automation, and finally finance. And then in finance, it's going to give you the ability to look at specific areas there. Now we're talking about the money side of the company. Liabilities versus debt. Do we want to try to raise capital? Do we want to spend capital? If we want to raise capital, do I need to borrow money? How much money would I want to borrow? Do I need to issue long-term bonds? Do I want to retire some bonds? Do I want to issue common stock? Do we want to buy back common stock? And if so, for what price? Those kind of knobs or thresholds are things that you have control over in the finance side. Now, in addition to that, you will get alert messages. So there are alert messages that come up, and it'll tell you emergency loan projected. That's telling me that the data that I put in the last time I ran the simulation was requiring a loan because I was running out of money. My research and development project length is over 1 year in time, and they want you to have only a 1 year window. There's also detailed views you can pull up that'll give you a little bit more information on that. Okay? In addition to that, you do get the opportunity to do what's called Performa. If you do Performa, it shows you what the changes would look like. So it gives you the ability to kind of do a mini run to see what's happening. You also have a decision summary tab that shows you your decision summaries, and then you have report tabs. So if I pull up reports, you're going to see that it gives me high-level reports on every one of the decisions that I made. Now remember, in your training, that perceptual map, it's going to be moving in a different direction. And what you're trying to do is you're trying to hit the sweet spot in between those. So you've got low tech and you've got high tech, and that bubble is kind of joined together. And if you can hit both those in the same area, that's what you want to do. But this is a moving target. It's going to continue to shift. So it gives you information on low tech. It's going to give you all the information on high tech. And it's going to show you specific dashboard information on production versus capacity, your finance information. And once we start running these, you'll start to see your team's performance against other teams. So you'll be able to see where you're at. Now the dashboard ultimately is going to give you the ability to, I'll call it, have a clarity as far as what's a positive position. And the way that's done is you'll be able to actually see stars, and it gives you stars in all areas that you're running, I'll call it, in a positive area. And if you're not, what happens is you end up going into areas that are a little bit different. Okay, now in addition to that, let me just jump out, and I want to come in one more time and just show you. Let me just jump into CapSim one more time. I'm going to jump into my regular account. This is the one that you're going to be going into. So you'll be able to see that you're at a simulation round 1. Scoring results will be pulled. You have no runs. There shouldn't be any runs that your team has done yet. Okay? These are the stars you're going to see that you would get each time you do a practice round. So when we get into week 2, this is the week 2, you're going to do a practice round, and you'll be able to see the results of that practice round. Once you're done with practice round 1, you're going to collect the data for that. Then you're going to do practice round number 2. We give you the ability to complete a variety of practice rounds in week 2. The reason for it is it's almost like a, I'll call it a playpen for you to see how things are working. Once you get into module 3, 4, and 5, you're going to see that you're actually running the modules. Okay, so those become real decisions. This is just to give you an ability to kind of see exactly what's due. So this is what I want to get you to in week 1 and week 2. So remember, week 1, the first thing to do, go ahead and get in and do your training. Get to the participant view, log into your team, start to get your training out of the way. Once the training's out of the way, then you can start to look at the other pieces in here, but don't make any runs in week 1, in module 1. Okay? Once again, the only other thing I would caution you about is remember that there's a lot of moving parts. So make sure you read the reference material we've given you. I've also put a CapSim U link in an announcement out there. There's some videos that are available out there that you can look at that'll walk you through some other information. And don't forget, in the training, there are videos that it'll walk you through. So you get to see those 4 different areas: research and development, finance, marketing, how all of those interconnect with each other. So the big thing to remember is that you're running a company and you're running it from 4 different areas. Okay? You've got a variety of decisions that you'll be making in each run, and you'll look at the logic associated with the decisions you make, and then you'll get to see that impact, how it actually impacts the financial position, the marketing, the research and development side of a company. Okay? It's meant to be fun, it's meant to be interactive, but remember, you're working as a team. No one person comes in and makes the decisions for the team and runs the simulation. You need to make sure you've got agreement among everyone as to what decisions you want to make. Okay? So, once again, if you run into any issues, please feel free to contact me, 818-703-4444. Send me an email if it's something associated with the course shell itself. If it's something specific to CapSim, I want you to use the CapSim Help button. If you go into CapSim Help, it's going to give you a phone number and it's going to give you an email. I have called the phone number multiple times and somebody always answers very quickly. They get information to you. They will walk you through everything you need to know. So any questions that you run into within the CapSim module itself, contact CapSim if you can't find the information in front of you. Okay? Once again, this is going to be a lot of fun for you. It's going to be frustrating in the beginning because you're going to see there are multiple decisions that need to be made and everything's connected. You turn something here and it might move something on this side over here. They don't appear to have a natural connection to them until you start to realize that the business or the company simulation that you're working with everything is joined together. Everything is linked together, and that's part of the learning experience you're going to have this module. It's going to be a fun 8 weeks. Like I said, have fun. Let me know if there's anything I can do. Jump into my WebExes if you've got some questions for me. I'll answer everything I can to the best of my ability for you within CapSim, but I am not the expert in CapSim. The CapSim people are. So make sure you contact them if you've got a specific question. So Module 1, remember, let's get in, get your account created, start going through the training, get all the training completed. Once that's done, you're prepped and ready for Module 2. Once Module 2 rolls around, when we get into week 2, that's when you get to do some practice runs. You'll actually get to start making changes. You'll get to actually start playing with the logic associated with it, and you'll be able to see what's going on. Okay? Have a great one. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.